In its 143rd year, Kieler Woche is taking place from 22 to the 30th of June this year. It has an extraordinary, international atmosphere and is one of the largest sailing events in the world. It is regatta sailing at the highest level. This is Kiel Week.
Kiel Week 2024 kicks off with the official opening of the sailing competition at the Olympic Centre in Kiel, Schilksee. The Ilka 7 class, formerly known as the Laser, was the guest on the media course in Stranda Book today, and it was the day of the international training group of German sailing veteran Philipp Buhl. This training group consists of Buhl himself, as well as the Frenchman Baptiste Bernaz and the Norwegian Herman Thomasgaard.
We are committed to do this Kieler Woche. For us, it is important that we have another competition and to get away from Marseille. It is quite stressful mentally when you are too long in one place, so Kiel is a nice change for us.
Good wind with light gusts, short waves, 13 to 16 knots, typical Kiel Week conditions. In the yellow group with the stars Buhl, Baptiste and Thomasgaard, the 36-year-old Frenchman Bernaz dominated all three races of the day. Bernaz, who has already competed in 4 Olympic Games and was world champion in 2022, took 3 first places. Good positioning on the race course together with really good speed underlined the Frenchman's exceptional performance on the first day. Germany's great Olympic sailing hope Philipp Buhl, who's preparing to compete in his 3rd Olympic Games in Marseille, finished 3rd in the first race of the day. In the second race, which was much tighter, Buhl fared much worse and collected his worst score of the day with 15th place. In the final and 3rd race of the afternoon, things went much better again and Buhl took 2nd place. After the first 3 races of the Ilka 7, Bernaz is in first place with a clean sheet ahead of Australia's Finn Alexander and Italy's Lorenzo Chiaverini, who competed in today's blue group. Philipp Buhl is in 5th place, Herman Thomasgaard in 6th, completing the Buhl International Training Group. Tomorrow the programme continues in Schilksee with the Ilka 6 on the media track.
This is your weekly global sailing highlights show, The World on Water, June 28, 2024. The 115-year-old international 12-metre class encompasses a living history of racing yacht design by the world's foremost naval architects, including Olin Stevens, Clinton Crane, William Fife III, Philip Rhodes, Johan Anker, Ben Lexon, and more, who pushed their designs to the very limits of innovation.
It was a good start to the first day of racing at the 12-metre World Championship in Porquerolles. At 10:05 a.m. the race committee gave the first start to the only race of the day. The conditions were sporty and tough, with an easterly wind of around 15 knots easing off at the start before strengthening to 40 knots just after the end of the constructed course. Today's winners are Group 1 Kookaburra 2 and Group 2 Janetta. An autumnal atmosphere in Porquerolles today, with misty skies in shades of grey, white, heavy seas, and a strengthening easterly wind at the end of the morning, with a peak of 53 knots recorded by the last competitor to reach port at the end of the first race. Amazing conditions in Porquerolles at this time of year. At 10:05 this morning, the race committee launched the first race of the 12-metre JA World Championship, putting on a magnificent show in Kiel Harbour. Let's get started. A smokes on the water in front of Porquerolles. The 224 sailors present were finally able to get to grips with the 6.7-mile course, which the front-runners covered in less than an hour. At the end of the morning, squalls dotted the skies over Porquerolles, forcing a well-deserved return to shore after this invigorating start. Back in port, the pontoons were abuzz with activity, with all the crews showing great solidarity to help each other and tie up to the pontoon. In Group 1, Kookaburra 2, KA12, won the day's race ahead of French Kiss, F7, and Crusader, K24. In Group 2, Genetta, K1, won this first race ahead of Northern Light, US14, and Nini Anchor, N15. Santiago Langa Kookaburra 2, KA12, it's a great race Vas. Torben got off to a great start, and the boat is going really fast. The World Championship is off to a great start. Mark Paget, French Kiss, K7, we finished second, we are happy, it's good. The conditions were amazing, the weather forecast had predicted these possibilities. But we had a very strong squall after the race. We sailed well, held on well and passed the first mark in 4th position, then we made up the ground as we needed to. There's a lot of confidence in the crew, and that's the most important thing. Thomas Müller, Genetta, K1, we had a very good race, we were well positioned in relation to our rivals. The competition promises to be very close between all the boats. Winning the first race is always good for the morale of the crew.
The last time we covered the Clip Around the World race, the fleet had crossed the northern Pacific to finish at the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal, a bucket list tick for many sailors, is one of the most famous waterways in the world. For the Clipper race crew sailing on leg 7 of the circumnavigation, transiting the Panama Canal is a highlight of the adventure, as the fleet crosses from the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean and returns to its home waters.
Good morning, Mom. I'm just departing from Flamenco Island Marina and looking for instructions to collect my pilot for the canal transit, please.
For sure, Captain. You can wait close to buoy number 6. Buoy number 6, pilot at 0400. Over.
That's all received. Buoy number 6, pilot at 0400. Many thanks indeed. We're here on PSP Logistics, and it's about 4 o'clock in the morning. We are going through the Panama Canal today. It's early morning now. We're waiting for the sun to come up and for our pilot to join us. Once we've all got our pilots on, we'll turn around and start heading up the river underneath the Bridge of the Americas and to the first locks, Miraflores locks, which herald the start of our day's adventures.
Yeah, we're entering the Pacific side of the canal, the Panama Canal, which as a round the worlder has been something I've been looking forward to.
I've always wanted to do the transit through the Panama Canal, and today is the day.
But just to see this feat of human engineering, we can essentially have a water elevator, ensuring that we can get from the Pacific side to the Atlantic side of Panama. Amazing.
We're going through as the second flight of 3 yachts. We go through each of the locks tied together.
Now we are in the lower chamber of Miraflores locks, so we will be on a height of the lake, which is now about 81 feet.
So we're through the final lock, so we're now way up high. We're I think 27 meters above sea level. So we got about 3-hour motor or so to the other side, and then we go down those 3 locks, and then we're Atlantic side in the Caribbean.
Yeah, we're just now leaving the Pedro Miguel locks, the second set of locks on the Pacific side of the Panama Canal. And from here we're just going under the new Bridge of the Americas before entering the cutting. which is about 20 miles of deep cut, where they had to basically cut the canal through the mountain up to the Gatun Lake. It was a huge engineering feat.
This is the narrow part of the channel. So some vessels, the ones above 91 feet in beam, have a escorting tugboat all the time until we clear this area. Wide, so if they lost engine or steering or have a blackout, they have the needed assistance of a tugboat and the canal will not be closed.
We are now halfway down the Gaillard Cut, and Roberto, our pilot, is swapping out for another pilot to take us on the second half through the Gatun Lakes.
Maurice.
Nice to meet you, Maurice.
Maurice, very nice to meet you.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Bye bye. Nice to meet you. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Now right in the middle of the Panama Canal, and just going past behind us is one of the great Panamax container ships. DSP Logistics has been supporting the race for a long time. They've been shipping our containers all around the world, all the spares and maintenance parts that we need. They're so important for keeping the race running. And I'm sure that on one of the containers that container ships we've been past today, it may well be that our actual container, which is moving from Seattle to Washington, may well be aboard.
As soon as you can, throw that line on the bow, okay? As soon as you can, throw it.
We're in the first of the Gatun locks, waiting to go down to the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean. At the moment, this big ship behind us has just come in, and we're waiting for them to fully secure themselves. Behind them, they'll close the lock door, and down we will go.
As soon as we get out the lock here, we'll be back in the Atlantic.
Just through there is the Atlantic, which is very exciting. But you feel you really have a sense of like doing the full circle, and now we're really on our way home.
This is the final lock in the Panama Canal, opening into the Atlantic side on the east coast officially. Really exciting to kind of be through it and on the home stretch here, going into home port.
And that's it. We're now leaving the lowest chamber of the Gatun locks, and we are motoring out into the Atlantic Ocean. Here we go. Another huge milestone passed.
Conditions were ideal this morning in Porquerolles. Long tacks under coloured spinnakers, fine manoeuvres as they rounded the buoys, close-hauled crossings, against a backdrop of grey skies and slightly heavy seas. The 14-12 metres put on a show today in the harbour of Kiel. Of particular note was the magnificent America's Cup-style duel between Kookaburra 2 and Kiwi Magic in the first race of the day.
An early wake-up call for the 224 sailors present in Porquerolles for the 12-metre World Championship, with a briefing at 8 a.m. and the first competitors joining the race zone at 8:30 a.m. as planned. At 9:30 a.m. the race committee was able to launch the start of a course built in ideal conditions, with a northeasterly wind oscillating between 12 and 20 knots. The 14 12-metre boats then sailed 2 races in quick succession. As the wind ran out of steam during the third race, it was cancelled for Group 2 and restarted as soon as the wind picked up again at 14:34 by the race committee. In the overall rankings after 4 races, the leaders are Group 1, Kookaburra, 2, KA12, and Group 2, Janetta, K1. A third day that began in the rain and ended in the sun. Conditions were ideal this morning in Porquerolles. Long tacks under coloured spinnakers, fine manoeuvres as they rounded the buoys, close-hauled crossings, against a backdrop of grey skies and slightly heavy seas. the 1412 meters, put on a show today in the harbor of Hyannis. Of particular note was the magnificent America's Cup-style duel between Kookaburra 2 at KA12 and Kiwi Magic KZ in the first race of the day. As planned, the race committee was able to launch the start of 3 constructed courses for Group 1 and Group 2. With 4 races completed in 2 days, the 12-meter World Championship organized by the Porquerolles Yacht Club has been validated. Group 1, a clear round for Kookaburra 2, KA12, which has won every race since the start of the World Championship. The Italian team takes first place in the overall standings ahead of Kiwi Magic and French Kiss. Matteo Plazzi Kookaburra 2, KA12, it was a great day's sailing with a good breeze of between 12 and 20 knots. There was some good competition with Kiwi Magic in the first race. So far, so good, we are having a very good World Championship. Marc Bonduel France F1 Our aim is to get off to a good start, and in the third race, we got off to a good start. We found the right setting between the mainsail and our Genoa, and we were able to take out French Kiss and Kiwi Magic. It was exceptional. We are still not perfecting our spinnaker maneuvers, but it's only the second day of racing and we are making progress every day. We know we can't fight because we've got old sails, we've got a propeller. So when we are in front and we manage to play around, and after 2 laps we are still there with them, we've arrived behind Kookaburra 3 lengths behind, which is fantastic. Group 2, hard-fought battle in the vintage class, where the finishes were very close between the top 4 finishers. At the end of the 4 races and by winning the last race of the day, Metre, K1, takes the overall lead ahead of Northern Light, US 14, who won the first 2 races of the day, and Nini Anker, N15. Martin Bach Nini Anker, N15, it was a very tiring day, the conditions were really difficult. It was hard to make the right sail choices. We had to make a lot of sail changes during the races. It was a challenge, but a challenge for everyone. With our competitors, we know each other well because most of them sail in the Baltic Sea like us.
Organized by the Bermuda Race Foundation, which is comprised of volunteers from the Cruising Club of America and the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club, the Newport Bermuda Race is the oldest regularly scheduled ocean race, spanning 636 miles, and attracting sailors from across North America and the globe. The race, founded in 1906, is a testament to true seamanship and the love for offshore sailing.
Welcome to all the fans of sailing. We've been waiting a long time for this start to come into Fort Adams.
Gorgeous start here out of Fort Adams on Narragansett Bay. Absolutely iconic amphitheater.
It's just a perfect place for a race boat start. We got a really, really trustworthy 10, 12 knot southwesterly here today that is going to make it interesting for sure for all these boats off the starting line.
I got a chance to be out on the water on a boat for a second watching the first 2 starts, which was beautiful. This squally, thundery area hadn't come over yet. We had a beautiful, beautiful start of the day. This tide that's flushing in, I would imagine that a lot of these boats are going to try to get closer to line since they're being pushed off.
They're lined up for the pin, no going back. A lot of boats on port, opting for the safe start.
Those people who want to follow this race, you go on the website and there's a tracker. You can follow your friends, you can follow your family, you can just stay up with the race.
It's been an outstanding day. That gray sky held off just long enough to get everyone underway, and we saw some really impressive starts out there. This day was some sailing at its finest. We're going to thank the weather gods and the state of Rhode Island and Narragansett Bay. It's been a real pleasure sitting here with you guys, watching some incredible sailing. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Cole. Go Celtics.
Porquerolles is an island located a stone's throw from the Gines Peninsula, to the south of the Var department. Its southern-colored village lives all year round with its 450 inhabitants, its school, its shops, its hotels, its restaurants.
The end of the 12-meter World Championship in Porquerolles. On this final day, a strong Mistral wind, 22 to 36 knots, is blowing across the harbour of Kiel. Due to these conditions, the race committee decided this morning not to launch the race. The 2024 12-meter World Championship organised by the Yacht Club de Porquerolles has been validated, with 6 races contested. The 12-meter World Champions are Group 1, Kookaburra 2, KA12, and Group 2, Northern Light, US 14. Kookaburra 2, KA12, owned by Italian Patrizio Bertelli, and skippered by Brazil's Torben Grael, dominated the World Championship, winning all the races contested. Kiwi Magic, KZ, and French Kiss, F7, completed the podium. Torben Grael, skipper of Kookaburra 2, KA12, this victory is really good. It's the result of a lot of hard work by the team. We prepared ourselves well, we had good sails. A big thank you to Mr. Bertelli for the work that was done and for the great crew he put together. It was great to sail with my friend Santiago Langer, for the first time, my good friend Marcelo Ferreira, who has been my crew member for 25 years, and my son too. It was a great experience for me. The island of Porquerolles is magnificent, it's a great place to sail, and we've had a week with lots of wind, perfect conditions for the 12-meter World Championship. On the vintage side, the battle was intense, and it was Hans Eliasson's Northern Light, US 14, that took the 2024 12-meter World Championship title. Janetta, K, and Nini Anker, NB 15, came second and third respectively. Hans Eliasson, owner of Northern Light, US 14, we are very proud to be world champions, it's great. When we bought the boat 5 years ago, our aim was to win the 2024 World Championship, and that's been achieved here in Porquerolles, so we are really pleased. A great success for the Yacht Club de Porquerolles. With 4 races organised in less than 2 months, the Porquerolles Race, the Porquerolles Cup, the Porquerolles Classic and the 12-meter World Championship, the Yacht Club de Porquerolles has once again demonstrated its expertise and dynamism in organising international events. Created in 1986, the Yacht Club de Porquerolles enjoys a magnificent stretch of water where everyone loves to come and race. Both at sea and on land, smiles, friendliness, and good spirit are in the DNA of the Yacht Club de Porquerolles. Aurélie Luelia, director of the Yacht Club de Porquerolles, the Yacht Club de Porquerolles is very proud to have hosted the 12-meter World Championship. The field was exceptional, with the presence of some legendary sailors. The races were intense, with difficult weather conditions for everyone. A great season of events is coming to an end. I'd like to thank all the Yacht Club teams who worked so hard on all the events for the 2024 season. We are very lucky to have such an outstanding team of volunteers at the club. Nothing would be possible without them. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our partner SFA, who has shown their confidence in us and supported this event right from the start. The next event for the 12-meter boats in the 55th Coupe de France, organised by the Yacht Club de France, will be in Barcelona from 4 to the 7th of September.